chat hear me? Can the chat hear me?
आपको रिकॉर्डिंग का दिखाओ आपको रिकॉर्डिंग का दिखाओ
Alright, let's kick it off. I'm getting tired of these fake people. So, I keep hearing this. Read 48 Laws of Power. Read 48 Laws of Power. And I'm going to read this for you viewers. So, I think people keep saying if you actually full on read the book, this book can change your life. If you fully read this, read that, this will change your life. Alright, so, the 48 Laws of Power is, the thing is I did read a bit of it, but I had to stop because it was too evil, because I don't want it to like affect me in some sort of way. But I think it's best now, it's the right time, because if the world's turning evil on you, it's time for you to fight back. That's all I gotta say. You know, screw these people, man. Honestly, where's the book? The book. Where the hell is this book? Right, someone has faffed around with my stuff. Right, that is actually stupid. That is actually stupid. Someone has faffed around with my stuff. Oh, why is it, bro? Why, man? I literally need something right now and it's not here. This is what happens when people faff around with your stuff. I didn't tell anyone to move around my stuff. No permission given. Oh. Give me a sec, chat. Give me a second, chat. Oh my days. Where did that book go? Where did that book go? Oh. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Because I remember I was like, yeah, I want to take it with me to school. This is actually insane. Aha! What is it doing underneath here? Oh my god. Found it, chat. Got the book. Got the freaking book. I got the book, everyone. I got it. I got the book. I got the book. I got the book. Right. Let's go. Well, there's so many quotes on this. Right. There we go. Yeah, these are the laws now, but they've got some good quotes, you know. Image, the limelight. The actor who steps into this brilliant light attains a heightened presence. All eyes are on him. There is room for only one actor at a time. In the limelight, narrow beam, do whatever it takes to make yourself its focus. Make your gestures so large, amusing, and scandalous that the light stays on you while the other actors are left in the shadows. Authority, be ostentatious and be seen. What is not seen is as though it did not exist. It was light that first caused all creation to shine forth. Display fills up many blanks, cover up deficiencies, and gives everything a second life, especially when it is backed by genuine merit. Okay, so it's saying to take your time, focus on yourself, and do something big. So whatever you want to achieve in life, just go for it now. Go for it now. Honestly, like who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Oh, my friends don't like this. Your friends are just gonna come and go. Like, if you didn't see my last live, they just come and go. Like, what difference would it make? Like, yeah, this guy talks shit, that guy talks shit. What's that gonna do for you for the rest of your life? Nothing. Nothing. Literally, work on yourself. I don't care who's watching my live. They can record this, post it anywhere, I don't care. But it's true. If you hang around with people who play around with you, you're not going to get anywhere further in life. Like, I'm just going to say this. Now it's your time to take action. Your time to take action. Forget about all those, whatever you got, kind of friends you got. To be fair, I realised the most successful people, they rarely even have any friends. I've realised that. You think your friends are going to stay by your side? Oh yeah, you've been friends since primary school. Just wait. Just wait until you turn behind your back. You'll be surprised at what they'll say behind your back. A mine full of diamond and rubies, you dug for it. You found it and your wealth is now assured. Guard it with your life. Robbers and thieves will appear from all sides. Never take your wealth for granted and constantly renew it. Time will diminish the jewels, luster, and bury them for sight. You see? Total viewers 12. Hello 12 viewers. I got 12 on TikTok, 1 on Twitch, 0 on Kick, 1 on YouTube. See what I mean? You just never know who's actually watching your stuff. Could be someone that could be an ally. Could be an ally. I always say this. Like, even Henok said as well, I got spies on my chat, which is true. I've got spies everywhere. Right. Therefore, I should wish a courtier to bolster up his inherent worth with skill and cunning, and ensure that whenever he has to go where he is a stranger, he is preceded by a good reputation. For the fame which appears to rest on the opinions of many fosters a certain unshakable belief in a man's worth, which is then easily strengthened in minds already thus disposed and prepared. Right. Without her noticing, but sharpen the knife to look. And then they have like a little story as well for this. Alright, so law 5. Well, let's read all the way to law 1. Law number 1. Because that's the most important one. You can't read a 5 and a 6 and a 2 and a 3. You need to read the first law out of them all, because that's the beginning. So, what is law 1 in this index? Find the law 1. Law 1. Right. Find law 1 from here. Law 1. Never outshine the master. I remember reading this. Never outshine the master. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. I've been using that a lot. In your desire to please or impress them. Do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. Let's go. Let's go to the first law then. Law number 1. Wait a minute. What's law number 1? Page 1. Right, there we go. Thank God. Right, law number 1, page 1, page 1. There we go. Never outshine the master. Judgment. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior and desire to please and impress them. Do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might accomplish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. We've read this before, but maybe because the new viewers are around, we decided to read this again. Right. Here we go. Transgression of the law. Nicholas Fouquet, Louis the... Wait a minute, I'm shitting on Roman numerals. Wait. I used to be good at... I think he means ninth. XIV number. Let me find out what the XIV mean. I completely forgot what it means. Alright, 14th. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, X means 10. Yeah, that's true. Alright. Louis XIV, finance minister in the first years of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved money for... Hey, Ellie! Yo! Ellie, you just spawning out of nowhere. How you doing, Ellie? I'm just reading this book for a bit. But yeah, let me carry on. I think I just scared her off. But yeah, let me read this again. Right. Let me see who's actually on my chat to begin with, because you don't know who's actually watching your shit. Right. I'm gonna check who's actually on my chat, because I feel like someone should be on my chat. There we go. Why does it say total? But yeah, let me carry on. Nicholas Fouquet, Louis XIV finance minister in the first years of his reign, was a generous man who loved lavish parties, pretty women, and poetry. He also loved... Where's Tickfinity on this? Right, how many people are on? It'll tell me now. Right. Poetry. He also loved money. Everybody does. For he led an extravagant lifestyle. Fouquet was clever and very much indispensable to the king. So when the Prime Minister, Jules Mazarin, died in 1661, the finance minister expected to be named the successor. Instead, the king decided to abolish the position. This and other signs made Fouquet suspect that he was falling out of favour. And the other signs made Fouquet suspect that he was falling out of favour. I've already read that. And others... Wait, what the hell? Sorry, my mind's boggling. And so he decided to ingratiate himself. Ingratiate? I never read that word before. Give me a sec, chat. Ingratiate. I never heard that word. Ingratiate. Yeah, doesn't need to abolish this position. This and other signs made Fouquet suspect that he was falling out of favour, and he so decided to ingratiate. What does ingratiate mean?
Ingratiate.
Ingratiate. So I was right the first time. Ingratiate. Being oneself into favour with someone by flattering or trying to please them. So people pleaser. So he decided to ingratiate himself with the king by staging the most spectacular party the world had ever seen. The party's ostensible purpose would be to commemorate the completion of Fouquet's chateau, Vaux-le-Vicomte, something like that, Vaux-le-Vicomte, but its real function was to pay tribute to the king, the guest of honour. The most brilliant nobility of Europe and some of the greatest minds of the time, La Fontaine, La Rochefoucauld, Madame de Sévigné, attended the party. Molière wrote a play for the occasion, in which himself was to perform at the evening's conclusion. The party began with a lavish seven-course dinner featuring foods from the Orient never before tasted in France, as well as new dishes created especially for the night. The meal was accompanied with music commissioned by Fouquet to honor the king. After dinner, there was a sorry. After dinner, there was a promenade through the chateau's gardens. The grounds and fountains of Vaux-le-Vicomte were to be the inspiration for Versailles. Fouquet personally accompanied the young king through the gourmet, geometrically aligned arrangements of shrubbery and flower beds. Arriving at the garden's canals, they witnessed a fireworks display, which was followed by the performance of Molière's play. The party ran well into the night, and everyone agreed it was the most amazing affair they had ever attended. Right? Had amazing affair that they have ever attended. Wait a minute. I gotta check my phone. Someone's watching my... Oh, hello, Jermaine. Okay. The next day, Fouquet was arrested by the king's head musketeer, d'Artagnan. 3 months later, he went on trial for stealing from the country's treasury. Actually, most of the stealing he was accused of, he had done on the king's behalf and with the king's permission. Fouquet was found guilty and sent to the most isolated prison in France, high in the Pyrenees Mountains, where he spent the last 20 years of his life in solitary confinement. Louis XIV, the Sun King, was a proud and arrogant man who wanted to be the center of attention at all times. He could not countenance being outdone in lavishness by anyone, and certainly not his finance minister. To succeed Fouquet, Louis chose Jean-Baptiste Colbert, a man famous for his parsimony and for giving the dullest parties in Paris. Colbert made sure that any money liberated from the treasury went straight into Louis's hands. With the money, Louis built a palace even more magnificent than Fouquet, the glorious place of Versailles. He used the same architects. One viewer here, 0 viewers here. One watching now, started 8 minutes. Alright, let me chill for a bit. Decorators and garden designer and at Versailles, Louis hosted parties even more extravagant than the one that cost Fouquet his freedom. Let us examine the situation. The evening of the party, as Fouquet presented spectacle on spectacle to Louis, even more magnificent than the one before he imagined. The affair has demonstrated his loyalty and devotion to the king. Not only did he think the party would put him back in the king's favour, he thought it would show his good taste, his connections and his popularity, making him indispensable to the kings and demonstrating that he would make an excellent prime minister. Instead, however, each new spectacle, each appreciative smile bestowed by the guests on Fouquet made it seem to Louis that his own friends and subjects were more charmed by the finance minister than by the king himself, and that Fouquet was actually flaunting his wealth and power rather than flattering Louis XIV's Fouquet's elaborate party. Offended by the king's vanity, Louis would not admit this to anyone, of course. Right. Instead, each new spectacle, each precious smile bestowed by the guests on Fouquet made it seem to Louis that his own friends and subjects were more charmed by the finance minister than by the king himself, and that Fouquet was actually flaunting his wealth and power rather than flattering Louis XIV's Fouquet elaborate party. offended the king's vanity. Louis would not admit this to anyone, of course. Instead, he found a convenient excuse to rid himself of a man who had inadvertently made him feel insecure. Such is the fate in some form or other of all those who unbalance the master's sense of himself, poke holes in his vanity, or make him doubt his preeminence. When the evening began, Fouquet was at the top of the world. By the time it had ended, he was at the bottom. Wow. Don't we all relate to that? Don't we all relate to that? Next minute you're at the top, you feel like, yeah, everyone loves me, everyone cares about me, everyone's there for you, everyone's there to look out for you, look after you. Yeah, everyone loves you. Then next minute, boom, you got no one. No one. No one is there for you. And that is how I feel at the moment. I actually relate to this. Like the Louis XIV, he tried to throw the best party of all time. He tried to make everybody feel happy. The party ran well. Next minute, he's at the bottom and nobody is there for him. And that is life, okay? That is life itself. No matter how many people you try and please, no matter how many people you try to help out, make them feel happy, make them feel special, make them feel good, eventually, when you're at the bottom, where the hell are they? They are nowhere to be seen. They're nowhere to be heard. So there's no point of you trying to do this at all. Like, trying to be a people pleaser, trying to be this and that. I'm not saying be an asshole to everyone, but my life advice is, if you're there for someone, they have to be there for you. And if they're not there for you anymore, you can't be there for them anymore either. Like, just stop chasing the people that don't care about you. And then when you're at the top again, the people who treated you like crap, do not bother with them. That's what I've done. Like, you know how many times I got blocked by people? Unblocked, blocked, unblocked. And then they said, Arian, can we be friends again? I pushed them away and say no. Because why would you keep doing the same thing over again? Why would you keep falling for the same cycle over and over and over and over again? It's not going to work. They're going to do the same thing to you over and over again. So if I was you, the people who treat you like crap, move on. Focus on what you want to achieve. Then when you get to the finish line, when like you're seeing you make progress in life, pretend like nothing has happened and act like they still don't give a crap about you, no matter how nice they've been to you. In the early 1600s, the Italian astronomer and mathematician Galileo found himself in a precarious position. He depended on the generosity of great rulers to support his research, and so, like all Renaissance scientists, he would sometimes make gifts of his inventions and discoveries to the leading patrons of the time. Once, for instance, he presented a military compass he invented to the Duke of Gonzaga. Then he dedicated a book explaining the use of the compass to the medics. Both rulers were grateful, and through them Galileo were able to find more students to teach. No matter how great a discovery, however, his patrons usually paid him with gifts, not cash. This made for a life of constant insecurity and dependence. There must be an easier way, he thought. Galileo hit on a new strategy in 1610. People still much one. This is me. When I'm talking real, everyone's leaving when it's the truth. I don't care what you're saying. He was able to find more students to teach. No matter how great a discovery, however, his patrons usually paid him with gifts, not cash. This made for a life of constant insecurity and dependence. There must be an easier way, he thought. Galileo hit on a new strategy in 1610, when he discovered the moons of Jupiter. Instead of dividing the discovery among his patrons, giving one the telescope he had used, dedicating a book to another, and so on, as he had done in the past, he decided to focus exclusively on the medics. He chose the medics for one reason. Shortly after Cosimo I had established the Medici dynasty. In 1540 he had made Jupiter the mightiest of the gods. The Medici symbol, a symbol of a power that went beyond politics and banking, one linked to ancient Rome and its divinities. Galileo turned discovery of Jupiter moons into a cosmic event. And then we've still got more reading to do. Molly Mae Jackson. What a name. I'm gonna end it here because hello Ava. But yeah, honouring the medic's greatness, shortly after discovery, he announced that the bright stars, the moon and Jupiter, offered themselves in the heavens to his telescope at the same time as Cosimo II's enthronement. He said that the number of the moon's four harmonized with the number of